everyone, I'm Kay and welcome to Bead Sisters. Thank you so much for coming back for part 2 of my interviews from the KnitInn in Greenville, South Carolina this past weekend, beginning of February 2024. And today I have interviews and booth tours with the Faerie, with Tomchik Designs, Harvest Moon and Clay Cat. Let's make sure I don't forget anybody. The Yarn Yogi, and Sheep Incognito. I hope you enjoy these quick interviews and just a chance to hear these artists describe their amazing work. I'm so glad you're here. I got to meet Sheryl of the Faerie this year. If you all remember Ashley of Twist Fiber Studios, she has closed her yarn and bag business to pursue other things, and she sold her booth to the Faerie. So if the booth setup looks familiar when you see her, that's why. She's doing a great job personalizing it though. I didn't realize that's what it was until I kind of got in there and looked around, and she said something that made me go, wait, is this Ashley's setup? So she's done a great job of personalizing it, and her yarn is lovely. I actually bought a skein plus some beads to make, I think it's called Storm Warning. I'll try to remember to put in a reference to that. This yarn is her Fairy Dust base. It is 80/20 superwash merino and nylon, and the colorway is Uncle Drosselmeyer. Sheryl from the Faerie, and she's going to tell us about her gorgeous yarns and her booth. Okay, go ahead, tell me.
Hi everyone. So I have lots of hand-dyed yarn here. This here is part of our Soiree collection, which was in this spring, this part and this part. Here we came up with a theme of the Nutcracker, which came out in the holidays this past year. This collection here came out in the fall, and this is our Naughty Pumpkin collection. And the names in this are awesome. And then, so we carry a merino and nylon base mostly, and we also have some sparkle yarn here as well. My good friend Barbara makes these bags up here that are made with a clear vinyl. They're great project bags for your sweaters, and it's very easy to see what's in there, so a lot of people really love these bags. I love making kits, and I love buying kits, so I have several kits throughout the booth. This one here is the Smoky Mountain Sunset Cowl, and all of our kits come with the pattern in them. This one here was a partnership I did with Yaya Black Sheep, and it's called Game of Shawls. And we're sold out of the kits, but the kit comes with a dice and a book, and you roll the die, and whichever number you get, you pair it with the pattern in the book. So all of them come out different, and it takes 3 skeins of yarn, and you can pick which color you want to do at what time, so they're really fun.
Nice. I love it.
Here we have a lot of just super creative, different bags, all that I make. Yeah, and then we have, thank you.
Okay, let's get over here.
These are a few more kits we have. This is like our beaded section. I really love doing beadwork. It's super simple. It's not as hard as it looks. So we have several bead kits here. This is probably my most popular kit of all, the Dragon Cowl, and I usually have 3 colorways, a blue, purple, and a green, and I have videos on how to do it on my website. It's so much easier than it looks, and it's definitely my best seller.
I can see why. I really like it.
It's so unique. When I found it, I was kind of felt like I was in a little bit of a slump, and I needed something really creative, and it just fit the bill. And then I make all of these project bags, and we have all different types of styles and themes. We also have a dragon bag, just a little bit of fiber and a whole lot of dragon magic in the bag. So people love those to go with their dragon kits. And then over here,
follow you through.
This collection is brand new. I partnered with a girl named Veronica. She's awesome, and she loves to wet felt. So we came up with some kits to do that have instructions and pictures in them, so you can look at the picture and know exactly what to do. Super simple to do. All of them come with everything you need to make one. And you can customize the design, you can customize how much sparkle you want in them. And so those are something really different and fun we're doing this year. This is Misfit Island. These are all either things that just weirdly happened in the pot or are left over from past collections.
Okay.
I love to dye roving. You can't tell by the set here because I sold so much that I ran out of time to do more. And then I've sold quite a bit here, but I have lots of different varieties. This is a bamboo merino mix. There's some merino and silk, merino and cashmere, and some full merino in here. I love to spin, so I had to add roving to the collection. It's just fun.
Beautiful roving.
This is part of the Naughty Pumpkin collection. It's also sparkle. And this pattern is called the Hipster pattern, I believe, is the name of it. Lightweight Hipster. And so we have a few sparkle skeins left of that collection. This one is brand new for this spring. It's called Meadow in Bloom. My test knitter suggested it, and I think it's the prettiest lace shawl I've seen in a long time. I just love the texture and the patterning in it. All of my kits, if you're not a pink person, you can change them out. I have a few different colors in here, and you can pick anything on our wall, and I will switch it out for you.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Sheryl. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Gorgeous sets and kits and ideas. I love it.
Thank you. We have it all online, so you can find us online.
Okay, and your website is
thefiberfairy.com.
Excellent. Thanks. Next up is Courtney of Tomchik Designs. She does ceramic buttons, and she may have shawl pins as well. The materials she uses for these products are actually leftover products from her supplies, at least from her other business. So it's a no waste product for her. And she's just excellent at describing what she does and telling you about her products.
Courtney Tomchik with CF Tomchik Designs. I make ceramic raku-fired buttons and shawl pins for the knitting and quilting industry. This is actually a second business for me. I do mainly artwork, and this is reclaimed and recycled clay, so I have no waste, which I'm very proud of. So the raku process has to do with the iridescence and the variation in color, and it's done with gas, and that's really how it works. I've been very lucky to be able to do this and provide the yarn and needle arts industries with beautiful buttons, and since about I've been doing it for 15 years. And it has been good. So I'm blessed to be here, and thank you, Kay, for allowing me to speak.
Thank you for telling me about it. I love hearing about processes that are completely unknown to me. I can look at it and say it's pretty, but I love hearing about how it gets to be that way.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
The next vendor I want to share with you is Sue of Harvest Moon and Clay Cat. Sue did not talk on camera, but she let me walk through her video and we discussed some of her products. So I will try to voice over this video and give you some more information about her. And she's just has an infectious laugh, and it's so much fun to be a booth neighbor to her. She is not going to have a booth at SAF this year, so I won't have her as a neighbor, but she's planning to be there and teach polymer clay. So if you're interested in that, be on the lookout for Sue teaching polymer clay at SAF next fall. This is Harvest Moon Handspun and Clay Cat. The owner is Sue Dial. And all of the things that you see here, the hats and scarves and hoods, are knit or crocheted by Sue out of her own hand-spun yarn. She also does wet felted products, which are, again, absolutely unique, one of a kind. Her other business is polymer clay. She has beautiful shawl pins. You can see all of her different colors here. She does magnets. There's some more of her creations from Handspun back here, a poncho, and I think it's a cowl. That colorwork cowl is just beautiful. And I'm going to move down a little bit and you'll get to see her buttons in just a minute. Can you imagine these on your hand knit or hand crocheted items, look at those beautiful buttons. I love this flower. And all made by Sue. She makes everything in her booth. As we move over, she's got button sets as well. And this is some more of her hand spun. So if you want to just purchase her hand spun, then you can do that. And you can see the name of her business here, Harvest Moon Handspun and Clay Cat. Again, more button sets. So if you need some for a cardigan, it'll be just the most beautiful finishing touch on your own hand spun or hand knit project. These are earrings. Her colors are just fantastic. Look at those designs. And it is one of a kind. Nobody else is going to have one exactly like yours. And as I move down a little bit, you see on this bottom row, look at these sheep. Aren't they so, so cute? I love, love, love the sheep. The other thing that Sue does is fairy hair. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's a type of hair tinsel, but this is not technically hair tinsel. I think it's a silk or synthetic silk or something. Anyway, you can treat it exactly like your own hair. I love it. She also does these sun catchers with the birds. She makes the little cardinals on there. So you just hang those where they'll sparkle in the sun, and you can enjoy the birds and the rainbows that it makes on your wall. If the name Connie of Sheep Incognito doesn't ring a bell, I'd be willing to bet you've seen her artwork. She is at a lot of fiber shows, and she does the most precious sheep artwork. Most of them involve humor and puns, and they're just a joy. I bought a print. I'll try to put in a picture here because I've already given it away. It was bought as a gift. But I had a great conversation with her, and she will tell you all about her artwork. This is Connie of Sheep Incognito. I'm so excited for her to tell me about her artwork. I've been admiring it for years.
Hi guys, nice to see y'all this morning. So I'm still waiting for the coffee to kick in here.
Same.
So we're here at the KnitInn in Greenville, and I thought I'd show you around my booth here a little bit. So this is Sheep Incognito. It's a flock of sheep. They're all funny or not, depends on what they are. But they all relate to humanity in a way. So they're all kind of a take on human condition by the sheep. So some of them have funny titles. This one here is called Dances with Wolves, for obvious reasons, right? And High Strung, and that's Hoarder of Treasures. So these are all G-clays on canvas that I hand embellish. They've got a little texture to them and all that. So they're all based on my original oil paintings that I do. I try to kind of keep current with what's going on out in the world. Some of it's, what do you call it? Pop art, sort of, kind of. I try to keep current with current happenings and all that. So the sheep have a take on everything in life. They go a little bit in the direction of politics. They go a little bit in social commentary. They go into biblical things and nursery rhymes and just human condition things. So that's kind of what makes them fun for me. I get to comment on what we do as people and turn them sheepish, I guess is what it is. Because realistically, we are all kind of a flock of multiple sheep breeds and people colors, and all that plays into it. So I do like what I do. I've been doing this for about 20 years now. So for me, it's been a blessing to get to do this. I get to play for a living. I get to stay out of a cubicle for the rest of my life, I hope. So usually I paint on canvas with oils, acrylics. Lately I've started doing some more digital painting with Procreate. That's been a lot of fun. So I do tend to take time to do that at least once a week or so if I can. Right now I'm working on a kid's book that I hope to get out sometime the end of this week, so we're going to work with that one. Wow. Yeah, so stay tuned on my Facebook page. If you look for Sheep Incognito, that's going to be on there sometime next month or so. Coming up this month, next month, whenever. But yeah, so that's pretty much a little bit about the sheep. If you need to see more, you can go to my website. If you want to see something now, I can show you a few.
Oh yeah, because you have originals for sale as well as prints.
Right. So this here is the Vitruvian Ma. That's an original painting on canvas. And then we have some digital paintings here. That's the Very Close Friend and the Highland Rendezvous. So I produced those to canvas because there's no other really good way to do that. And that just works better when I'm on the road, so I do travel a lot. So this one here is bagpipes.
I love this one. And the original is here as well?
Yeah, it's hanging out front.
Yes.
Hanging out front in the booth.
I'll get a picture of that one before I'm done.
Yeah. Then we have the fake news. So I did that one for
that's funny.
a little while back. And then, yeah, I've just been doing a lot of different ones here. This one's called Spinning Out of Control.
Oh.
For all you spinners out there, you kind of know what that's about, right?
Excellent. Yeah. No, I have no idea what it means to be out of control at this point.
Yeah.
No, it
and
never
then
happens to me.
For my knitters out there, the occupational therapy.
Aw.
So, and again, you know, some of them do have a little bit of a political connotation. I did this one around 9/11 when they came out with the Patriot Act. I decided I needed to comment on that somehow, but still keep it light and funny. And it still applies for just knitting in general. You know, it is an occupational therapy. It's something nice to do. It's something that does keep you happy. This one here is Love Mustache. That was based on a watercolor I did during the pandemic. Let's see what else we got. I got the BU. I tried to do some encouraging pieces every now and then, some inspirational artwork for people going through dark times, because I think we all do. I know I did, and for me it kept me happy, kept me laughing even when things were kind of getting kind of tough. There's one called Under His Wings.
Oh, how beautiful.
So, and let's see what else we got. And then, of course, there's just the silly, stupid stuff. That's a party pooper.
I love him.
So, yeah, I just try to be silly enough to keep myself entertained, and I keep people smiling when they come in the booth, because I do love that. I love the sound of giggles in my booth. I used to do more fine art and abstract art and that kind of thing. That's how I started out, was actually selling on eBay, doing abstracts and kind of like this, with the tree and the hill and the clouds, but there was no sheep, there was no flowers. It was kind of a dead type of art. It was pretty, but it didn't say anything. It didn't have a meaning. And so for me to add the sheep in there, it immediately turned it into something funny, something cute, something sort of off-kilter and kind of silly. So that's what I love about it. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. And some of them, like I said, here's the cable TV. That's one of my newer ones. And then I started doing some pet portraits and stuff like that. So this is a Fiddler on the Woof.
That's so cute. I
I
saw that one just a little bit ago, and it's so cute.
Yeah, so I love doing that, because that way I can make the dogs exactly like they are in real life. So I try to make them quirky, or if they're little diggers, they get a little flower pot on their head and that kind of thing. So I like trying to capture exactly what their sheep or what their dogs are about. So, and then we've got the stilted kilts here.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're going to be up in Asheville at the Celtic Festival in 2 weeks. So if you've never been to that one's a lot of fun. And I think this year they expanded it to 2 days, so that's going to be a lot of fun up there. So we're going to be up there with a big booth. This one here is kind of limited in size just because it's a smaller event, but yeah. So that's a little bit about what I do. I do some other animals too. That's the blue-footed booby. So, yeah. I mean, you know, the sheep have my heart. I used to have a flock of sheep. They were lovely. They were Tunis sheep, so they were the perfect combination of really, really stupid, but really, really sweet. But also still, when I say stupid, I don't mean dumb. I mean stupid, but also intelligent. So they ganged up with the dog and dug out and got out and went to roam the neighbor's yard. When we tried catching them, they'd run back into the hole that the dog had dug for them. So
Yeah,
it was kind of fun.
Who was? We didn't get out. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun to have them, but boy, oh boy, am I done running after them. But yeah, so they do have my heart. They're my little inspirations. They're super cute. You can go up to sheep, and if you spend time to just sit with them, you'll see how peaceful and how calm they really are. If you're not scary to them, they'll just sit there and they'll just look at you, and they'll keep eating and sleeping and looking at you. And if you're lucky, they'll let you scratch under their chin and behind their ears and stuff. They really are peaceful creatures. Like, they don't have trigger fingers. They don't You know, they don't go ballistic usually. So to me, they're the perfect critters for what I do, because they're not, you know, if I was to paint dogs, I'd never get people that love cats to come in. If I was to paint llamas, the alpaca people would stay far away. It's that kind of thing. But the sheep have this unifying thing to them. They're everywhere in the world, in every society, every culture. So to me, that makes them the perfect what do you call it, spread for my artwork, I guess. Yeah, it kind of gives me more material to work from, because I can turn them evil, like death right here in the trick or bleat. Actually llama in there, because, you know. But yeah, they can be anything, and I love that part. And much like humans, they can dress up as much as they want, and inside they're still going to be sheep. So, so if we can all live like that, I think we're on the right track. You know, lose the trigger fingers, lose the attitude towards each other. You know, no matter what breed you are, or wherever you're coming from, you're still in the same meadow together. And to me, that's kind of my biggest message, I guess, is for people to remember. You know, even if you disagree politically or whatever, we're still humans, and for that, you know, it takes some doing, but you can get along and be happy and be peaceful, and enjoy the grass. You know, leave the thistles and eat the grass. I don't know. I guess that's the advice for life. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
well, Connie, thank you so much.
Thanks a million.
What a delight to hear you talk about your work. I loved it.
Thank you. Thanks for featuring me here. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Good luck to you today.
This is O Suzannah. She has a fair amount of things like cotton fiber, dyed cotton fiber, and I think it's embroidery, and some artwork made from some of her fiber. So here she is to tell you about that. This is Susan of O Suzannah, and she's going to tell us about her shop and her product and her booth. Okay.
Good morning. I'm O Suzannah of O Suzannah's in Morganton, North Carolina. I'm a weaver, and I own a knitting store. I do a lot of teaching of beginning weavers on rigid heddle looms, and I try to encourage people to start with a yarn that I found that's really good for beginning weavers, which is a hand-dyed cotton that I sell. So I brought a lot of cotton. This is the South, where people like to stay a little cooler. And then I also dye cotton for the quilters and the stitchers, and I dye sashiko thread. I make a lot of kits, and I make wall art using the scraps of my fabrics that I've dyed.
Beautiful. Oh, I love them.
And of course, I sell knitting yarn.
Of course.
I have a lot of knitting yarn. I didn't bring a lot because there are a lot of other people who brought knitting yarn. But I make a lot of bags. I make kits for bags.
Oh, I love the closure.
This is called a Japanese rice bag. And it's a really simplified pattern for people who aren't experienced knitters. I pre-cut it all so that it's a little easier.
Oh, excellent.
I like to do a lot of things with recycled fibers and fabrics and stuff, like my paintings. I have a collection of felted things I make into bags. I have a vintage fabric collection because I'm a fabricaholic, and I sew things. And then I specialize in indigo dyeing and hand-stitched shibori and sashiko pieces. So I make bags that I embellish with my indigo. Some of that's commercial, but most of that I dyed, right?
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
It was very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm fascinated. I've taken a weaving class, but it didn't quite take. I think I need to try it again.
I will happily give you your booster shot.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Finally, we have Angie of the Traveling Yarn Yogi. So she has her shop inside a bus. It's kind of a small bus, but yeah, stuff inside a bus, and it's just a beautiful little shop on wheels. She carries indie dyers, and I found La Bien Amie for the first time. I was so excited that she had some. Let's see if there's a colorway name. Lavande. Isn't that gorgeous? It is a 75-25 superwash nylon blend. So here's Angie from the Yarn Yogi. This is Angie of Yarn Yogi, and she's going to tell you about her business.
Hey, it's actually the traveling Yarn Yogi, but a lot of folks call me Yarn Yogi. But I have a bus full of indie dyed yarn from all over the place. So I try to keep it all, how can I say, small batch, new dyers, established dyers, and they treat me well, so I definitely go around selling what they've got. Excellent. But it's full.
How beautiful.
Packed. So we've got Emma's, and then Cozy Color Works, and then I know I'm gonna always say it wrong, Lavina May, and then my new dyer, Sheryl Designs out of Oregon, and just a lot of little trinkets. I always try to get something new and have on board. So been doing this is my 5th year, so I'm excited.
Congratulations.
That I've made it through COVID, and we're gonna keep rolling.
Oh, I'm so glad. I hope you've enjoyed this opportunity to get to know some fiber artists and vendors in this business. There's so much creativity and so much joy in hearing them talk about their products. So I was really, really happy to share them with you. And thank you to all of the vendors. Thank you for all of the vendors who talked to me and were willing to share their creativity, their inspiration. What a joy and what encouragement it is to me, and I'm sure it'll be inspiring for you as well. Talk to you soon.